is coming at the perfect moment here.
Damn it, Juan.
Damn it, Juan.
This time, though, game 2, Suppy, I don't think he's going to be going for
no.
For anything like that. I expect this is going to be that standard game that we expected in game number 1. Good idea. Sometimes good
debatable.
ideas are just that, ideas. And they can't necessarily be acted upon in that case. SCB is repairing almost forever, for at least as long as the end.
Remember, Suppy 2-0'd to Muzzle. So it might be one of those situations where it's like, you know what, I don't really need that game.
Getting a good game, a good lead versus someone like Polt, that'd be a great position to be in. But now we're moving on to Belshire Vestige.
Yes.
And we've got Suppy needing a win to stay alive in this best of 3. Polt can close this one out. He was pretty much handed that victory. And here we're about to get started.
Good.
Meant to type go, but we're not going. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get going in just a moment. We've got a lot more action coming at you.
Yeah.
All weekend long.
Getting deep
Sunday
into
tomorrow.
Saturday. Yeah. Deep into Saturday. This is the time where either you're starting to adjust to the long hours, or you're getting a little tired from getting here, playing early. But I'm wondering if our audience is tired. I mean, some of y'all were here early. In the morning.
Some guy raised his hand.
Yeah, he's like,
I'm
tired.
Yeah,
that guy's tired.
I am.
But we need all of your energy, guys, for this match here today. As I introduce our player in the top left-hand location, your Red Terran player representing CM Storm, he is Polt.
And in the southeast position as the blue Zerg has droned past 6.
Oh.
Give it up for EG Suppy.
Drone past 6 indeed, which means we're not seeing an early pull, which means we might see a relatively standard game here on Belshire Vestige. Again, Polt is currently up 1-0. He's 1 win away from advancing to the next round. Suppy on the verge of being eliminated from the upper bracket and falling to the lower bracket, which is where you do not want to be.
Yeah, and I mean, the one thing that, Suppy could take away with, or either of these players could take away with if they lost, is that at least they made it pretty deep in that bracket in order to get it, because it means, obviously, the further that you make it in the winner's bracket, the less matches you have to play from the lower. So don't forget, you can send out your idea on who you think is going to win this round. Tweet your answer with pound MLG and the player, whether that's pound Polt or pound Suppy. Right now, Suppy sitting at 100, and we do have another CC in the main for Polt.
Yep.
Kind of expecting to go that exact route. Early economy, pretty safe, and he defended it last time, so why not?
Yeah. Oh, what I loved about his build is it incorporated the emergency factor. If the Lings and drones come forward, if the barracks is taken out, he has that slot right behind the barracks where he can place an engineering beta, fully wall that off so he can feel really comfortable dealing with that early shenaniganry that generally that actually came at him in that last game from Suppy. So really cool play here from Polt, playing very safe. Knows he's obviously a nice, easy win would be good. Obviously, cutting corners is good sometimes, but as you get later in these tournaments, playing safe might be the best choice.
Yeah, agree. And look at that. I mean, immediately we saw the numbers go back and forth, but it is really stabilized about 50-50. Polt with just a few extra votes over Suppy, but I think what that tells us is that pretty much the audience is split here on who they think can actually take this game. Now, looking at what we've got, Suppy opening much more standard, obviously, than he did in the last game with his natural going down and then his pool into gas. So his speed is going to be a little bit later, not looking for that super quick speed, but enough that he can defend against whatever could initially come out. And already we're getting this bunker at the front here for Polt, as is getting his double orbital right now.
Looks like he's going to go straight into factory. That's at least what it looks like. The factory is going to be placed down momentarily. Now, when you go for this fast expand, obviously you're not going to have a lot of map presence. You're not going to have a lot of map control because you're going for such a fast command center. So a lot of Terrans love getting that faster factory, add on a reactor to that barracks, flip that factory over to the reactor, start getting those Hellions out. Now, what's interesting also to observe is when the Terran takes their second gas. The sooner they take their second gas in a situation like this, it's going to start implying the heavier tech, right? Like Hellbats, like Banshees. But as of right now, the second gas is still unoccupied there for Polt. So it looks like he's just going to get some Hellions out in the early game, and we'll have to see where he goes from there.
Yeah, and just a very, very tiny mistake by Polt is he did not put down his reactor immediately after landing that barracks. So the factory's going to finish, but the reactor still has quite a ways to go. He had the gas for it, but you know, he's going to just wait for that to finish up and switch. Obviously, want to try to get it right on there. And actually, no, where's he? No, he's getting it ready. So Overlord is in position, checking. We got some Lings chasing out these SCVs around the base, and this SCV going to try to make his way in, only to be stopped short by the 2 queens.
Yeah.
Speed's about ready to finish as well, and a 3rd CC going down for Polt.
And now if Suppy can spot that, the Overlord is actually really close to seeing that 3rd command center. It's such a good feeling as a Zerg. You know, depending on your playstyle, obviously, but seeing that 3rd command center this quickly means that there's not going to be the scary Hellbat stuff. There's not going to be the scary fast drops. That's way too fast of a command center for that to happen. Now, it'd be great if Suppy can move that Overlord a little bit to the right, identify that 3rd command center so he can feel comfortable, and instead of getting a roach run, instead of getting roaches, instead of getting a lot of gas, he can go straight into, well, instead of getting, you know, roaches, he can go straight into double Evo chambers and just get the upgrades going really fast. I think that's the best way to react to some sort of play like that for the Terran.
And you're right. I mean, this Overlord is going to eventually go in here very, very soon and check out what is going on. But at this point, Polt's starting to get that map control.
Yep.
He's taking the towers. I mean, we see Suppy spreading his creep. He's thrown down that 3rd base, getting a queen over there as well. It's about ready to pop up. The Roach Warren has come out right now. And that Overlord now moving into position right around 7:30. It's typically when it happens. He's going to see that 3rd CC. And will he go even further into the base? I mean, he's already got an idea, sees the factory, and he probably knows what is going to happen. Now, we're seeing this switch to the Biomine play, but still off of the 1 rack. So, yeah, I suspect we're going to have a few more racks coming down here for Polt just momentarily.
Yeah, interesting little circumstances there. Suppy identifying the command center a little bit later. I feel like he would have loved to get his 2 Evo chambers down a bit faster had he seen the fast 3rd, but again, he wasn't able to spot that in time. Ooh, going for the +1 missile and not the +1 melee. So a lot of Zerg players love going for that Ling, Baneling, Beetle style, which does involve the +1 melee. The fact that Suppy is going for the +1 missile implies that he's going for maybe a more Roach Hydra based composition.
Right, which, you know, is popular amongst some players. Some Zergs just absolutely will not. They refuse to play that style versus Terran.
Sure.
Roaches,
I mean, it's so hard with Roaches because it's so hard to be cost efficient with them, but it's kind of easier to deal with like Widow Mines and stuff, so it's kind of a stylistic thing, but then again, they're not as mobile as the Ling Baneling, so it's back and forth. It's stylistic to a certain extent. It might also mean Suppy might be going for a timing that a lot of Zerg players love to do. The 2-2 timing with Roaches and Hydras off of 3 bases, not investing in anything else, just going for a big power push into your opponent's 3 bases. And if your opponent isn't looking out for it, it can do a lot of damage.
We've got some Widow Mines heading out and starting to basically create a perimeter around the base of Polt. We've got the Overlord coming in and dropping the creep here right in the middle as well. Now, just Roaches continuing to come out here. We've got the +1 about to finish up, but you know, Roach speed. We have no tech outside of that. Lair is done.
Bye, Overlord.
Yes.
You know, this might be just a 1-1 Roach speed timing. Again, he has 5 Overlords in production, which implies nothing but Roaches coming out very soon.
I kind of feel like that's, yep, there's 12 additional Roaches on their way. The +1 is about to finish. I mean, the fact that we have no tech beyond Roach speed for Lair, I think is an indication that you're right.
Can Polt identify this?
I'm not sure. You know, I mean, let's take a quick look at his vision. I honestly think it's actually less. Well, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, ideally,
be careful.
Ideally you see all the Roaches. You try to take back Watchtower control, but Suppy is doing a brilliant job maintaining that Watchtower control, pushing the Roaches out to the middle of the map. But a lot of Marines and Marauders here coming to the middle. But now he sees all the Roaches, and Polt is running for the hills. Suppy is charging forward his opponent's side of the map, and now Polt has to react perfectly to defend this.
Oh, only 1 Roach hit, but we've got a bunch more Widow Mines coming out. There's no detection here. 2 more Roaches go down, but there are a ton of Roaches here. There, the Overseer finally coming into play. He's going to immediately go after that bunker. It falls quite easily from the back. He's now got a pretty good arc, taking out the units on the ramp and taking out the front, and he will march into Polt's base. base.
Suppy with so many roaches. Polt doesn't have any backup bunkers. The roaches charging into his opponent's main base. Widowmine's trying to get into the ground. Polt would love a few more Marauders in a situation like this, but Suppy trying to take advantage of his supreme army advantage, his supreme supply advantage, doing a lot of damage to Polt's side of the map.
Yeah, and we already see a lift on the command center. Now the third is up, and that's another target that could be hit, even if there were some follow-up lings to this, but the roaches, there are quite a few. They get split off. The Marines now going to make a run. Now, I think they should just retreat, get out of there, go for the third, try to damage that up, but he is going to engage in this battle. There's no more energy really left on those medevacs, and he is going to be forced to turn back. Oh, is he not?
More roaches coming in here. Suppy
gosh.
is really trying to make this work. Overseer's coming forward, taking down those Widowmines really quickly, but Polt can always retreat to the high ground. Now Suppy, the longer he can delay this natural from landing back down, the better. Gotta be careful about these Widowmines. Okay, gonna take those guys out. Looks like just before the cooldown expires. And now he's gonna go towards his third base, which is defenseless. Suppy has a 66 to 38 Harvester advantage, and look at how many more Harvesters he's killing. Suppy is everywhere.
He is. He caused a lift on the third. He's going to engage these guys again. Units spinning up. Roaches coming in from the back. He's got this army completely surrounded. He's going to continue it on. You're not going anywhere. The Marines picked up in the medevac, and the roaches continue their advance on Polt's natural.
The best part about this is Suppy has a backup plan. He has 2-2 on the way. He has drones in production. He isn't investing everything into this push. Obviously, he invested a lot into it earlier, but it's definitely paid for itself. 39 workers killed in this game so far here for Suppy, again, up 66 to 26, denying his opponent's third base, denying his opponent's natural expansion, and still being aggressive. Polt wondering how the heck did all these roaches get onto the field.
Target firing down those Marauders, since they are some of the biggest threats on the field here for Suppy, but Polt's bio army continues to sort of swell and grow, and he's got to be careful about that. Polt now on 1-2 with 2-2 about ready to complete up. He's continuing production of the Widowmines in order to try to spread some of that damage out amongst the roaches, and at this point Suppy says, I can't overextend, I've got to back off a little bit. But as you mentioned, next comes the Hydras. Next, he's got Groove Spines on the way. He'll have Speed coming up next, and he will have, most importantly, 2-2 in that engagement as well.
Also adding on Burrow, very crafty indeed. Now, Polt is going to have to figure out, how do I get back into this game? The good news is he kept all of his orbitals alive. That's fantastic. Also, his upgrades are just about to even up with Suppy. They're momentarily both about to have 2-2. He can just pick up and run. I think.
I mean, he can.
Oh gosh.
But still, with the Hydras there, he's got to be careful. And the Hydras are going to get taken out, but from the back, the Roaches coming in yet again. Hydras trying to move back on apartment, start target firing down these medevacs as well, and Polt getting further and further away from his reinforcing units, but he's also pulling Suppy further away from the front of his base.
He's trying to keep his natural and third safe by pulling Suppy away from that point. This is also contributing to that. A drop in the main base is going to cause Suppy to, it's going to cause his multitasking to be tested. Suppy's going to have to deal with all these drops, deal with the army in the middle, when ideally he wants to be attacking his opponent's natural, attacking his opponent's third, keeping up with that momentum and keeping Polt restricted to as few bases as possible.
And right now the supply is 196 to 110, and at one point it was nearly 200 to almost 95. You consider 100 supply difference, and Suppy's still not able to completely break Polt 100%. So here this army moving out once again. The bio forces of Polt are at 2-2. Another engagement here, and just a small group of Marines get hit out, but honestly I think Polt is too thin in regards to his army. And that's going to leave a wide open door for Suppy and Polt's third.
Polt needs to not overextend. If he can deal with this relatively cost efficiently, he's right back into this game. Suppy coming forward, trying to back up some of his units to try to dodge those Widowmine shots. Polt desperately trying to hold this location. No bunkers here, and Suppy has so much Zerg, so many Roaches, so many Hydras. Medevac's trying to desperately heal from above, but can Polt be cost efficient enough to take this out?
There's only about 4 Marines left standing and a few Marauders. All that's left are the Hydras, but versus smaller packs of units, they're actually pretty effective. Here comes another reinforcing group from Polto, and he will hold.
Whoa, and remember, the drop is happening on the left-hand side, taking down quite a few drones. Suppy gonna pull some units over there to try to deal with that. More importantly, Polt's mining remains intact, both at his natural expansion and at his third base. He's been trying to replenish that SCV count, but he's still only on 22 Harvesters. There's which is amazing considering how well he held off that last push.
Yeah, that is pretty bonkers. 61 to 22, including and then of course Mules on top of that, and this small group finds Suppy yet again. Suppy's going to choose to engage.
He's going to try to come with a sandwich, not targeting down the hatchery, and he's going to back out of there, but Suppy keeping that base alive. That's so important as this game progresses forward. Polt is definitely going to be back to that location. He knows how low that hatchery is on health. The 2 medevacs still lurking in that area, 3 medevacs actually.
And the 3 medevacs going to come back in. Honestly, the Hydra supply is not that great. There's only 5 Hydras out right now, and you know, he needs those Hydras to try to deflect some of these medevacs, and the medevac count for Polt is actually, it's 10.
That's why he's still in this game.
Yes,
Keeping those medevacs alive around here is able to make that bio that much more cost efficient, and now Polt is going to continue to try to spread Suppy out, sending drops everywhere.
Yeah, and here comes the here comes those 3 dropships yet again, and that western base for Suppy. That hatchery is going to fall down. More importantly, he's not going to be able to stop those medevacs again.
Oh, wow. He gets the hatchery.
Yeah, and there's another drop on the east side. This time 2 full medevacs are heading in. The roaches are there along with a couple of Hydras. Immediately the Hydras are targeted, but he realizes I cannot go after this, but there's a big force moving towards Polt's main.
Can Suppy make this work? Coming into his opponent's natural expansion, Polt backing up. He doesn't have a ton here. Remember, a lot of his units are in drops across the map. Suppy charging into his opponent's natural expansion. Polt trying to back up. Where is the rest of his army? This natural expansion is going to be vulnerable once again.
And the roaches are in. We see that orbital command lift up. I also love the fact that Suppy is getting in his opponent's face with those roaches. So if Widow Mines do hit, they're going to hit Polt's force as well. We see the natural lift. The 3rd is wide open, but honestly, he can sit right here. The drop's continuing. We've got a small force outside the natural, and now an attack on the 3rd. Drones are going to go down, and this hatchery will fall as well. Somehow, Polt manages to get Suppy to pull his entire army back.
He might get the natural expansion hatchery. Suppy needs to maintain his composure. Polt is everywhere, really testing Suppy's multitasking, but Polt taking advantage of those extremely maneuverable bio armies, the medevacs as well. Great pickups there from Polt, but again, he's not mining from his natural. He's not mining from his 3rd. It's a battle of keeping your army alive and dodging your opponent's composition.
Absolutely insane. In Suppy's mineral line, 190, 110 minerals remaining. Over in Polt's mineral line, 60. 215 and 120, and those are quickly depleting. We've got hatcheries down here for Suppy to try to get mining back into this game, but what he is left with is a 200 supply army. So as both of these players get to a point where there's not going to be any income coming in, Suppy is going to be in a better spot, but he's got to continuously shut down Polt and not let him get back on that mining.
This is the most hysterical race ever. The Overlord wanted to drop the creep, Polt wanted to land, but the Overlord wins the race there. You don't get to see that too often at all. But now Suppy's wondering, okay, what is my opponent up to? He has a burrowed roach there at the natural expansion. He's probably about to die. But the fungals are going to be so important here.
Exactly.
Polt has 3-3. He has plenty of medevacs overhead. He can definitely do this cost efficiently, but if Suppy can nail the fungals, there's no way out here for Polt.
We've got an extra tank coming out too. Polt is going to try to hold this as much as he can. I really think that he needs to wait for those infestors to make it across, and as he gets shelled by that siege tank, he's going to wait too. I mean, the bio forces are 3-3 now.
Yes.
Hive is not done yet, so that is going to be a significant upgrade disadvantage here for Suppy. He has to have those fungals to supplement that damage a little bit. Now, he does have 2 more bases up.
Right. That's the thing. Like, if Suppy had his economy was much better, he'd be happy to go try and trade.
I agree.
Now. But he doesn't have the ability to remax right now. Look at his mineral income. It's not fantastic at all. But once he gets his natural expansion up, once he gets his 3rd up, maybe even the 4th on the left-hand side of the map, he's going to start feeling comfortable to make those trades. But Suppy's saying, you know what? It's a little bit too risky to try to press in and put my opponent's natural expansion. I'm just going to stick back with my 200 maxed army and try to get these extra bases up.
And Polt's going to try some drops all around the map to try to clean this up, maybe stop some of the obviously some of the expansions that Suppy's putting out there, and he finally cleans it up. Remember when he were just 5 Hydras on the field? Well, now the medevac count's starting to deplete a little bit as we have up to 27 Hydras. There are 40 roaches and now 4 infestors, and honestly, I think that those 4 infestors are really the key to unlocking victory for Suppy here.
Suppy, victory is almost certainly his. Polt has to pull off a miracle careful. Suppy coming across the map here. Now he has 4 infestors with 2 more in production. 2 drops from Polt still being really annoying. Every single unit is so important here from Polt, considering how low his economy is. But once 3-3 finishes here for Suppy, once Suppy's extra bases get up, Suppy is going to be a even more phenomenal position, almost a checkmate position. So Polt has to make something happen.
Yeah, in fact, Polt's chance, I think, is this drop here on the east side of the base. There are a few roaches inside, but again, upgrade advantage, got some Marauders in there. It's a possible setup. However, Suppy's going to go for this third base.
Suppy coming up there. There's 4 infestors there. The scan going down from Polt, immediately lifting up that command center, trying to pull those SCVs away. The orbital command gets taken out, and that's a great victory there for Suppy. He might even just back up and go home. No real reason to really try to engage unless you know you can take a convincing engagement. Tanks trying to siege up desperately. Fungal going down on the Marines and Marauders. Great Fungal there from Suppy. But again, not really willing to engage just yet. I think that's a wise choice to try to back up.
Yeah, you don't want to fight that choke. There's 2 tanks out now. He knows that he's got the better army. He's just got to find that right engagement, and this might be it. 1 missed Fungal completely, but is it going to matter? The oh, there it is. Green goo on everything. The Hydra's just DPSing everything to death. And I think we're going to be going on to a game 3.
Oh, yeah. Suppy takes it. Polt with the GG, and now we are tied 1-1. Suppy with a convincing 1-1 roach speed timing push there in the mid game. Polt trying to go for 3 command centers, trying to go for 2 engineering bays, but Suppy able to take advantage of that timing and give himself a miraculous advantage. Polt tried to make a comeback, but it just didn't have enough.
But you know what? You say try to make a comeback, but damn.
Yeah.
Like Polt holding on, having that, the little things that gave him that advantage, that upgrade advantage that let him hold on for so long. That's a sign of a damn good player right there. Really, really impressive. And we are going to be going on to a 3rd and final match to determine the winner of Suppy versus Polt. Stick around. Day 2.